welcome to a brand new episode here on Britain's Farm. Yes, so I said in the last episode of 1950s that Britain's Farm would not be on the sort of priority list. However, with time allowing and everything else, it's something that I do still want to do. So time is allowing. So here's an episode. We've got to get the rolling finished. Then we need to get into the next day, when the next day comes along, and then we need to come through here and obviously get all of the spraying done on all of the crops that we've drilled over the spring, and then get ourselves down as quick as possible to harvest, and so we can sort of get moving on a bit, because this year just feels like on the game, but the year on the game feels like it's kind of dragged on a little bit, so try and get moving again, and try and get everything back up and running. So yeah, as you can see, today is going to be an episode of rolling. I did kind of consider doing a chatty video today. I've got a few things that I want to chat about, however that does mean we're not going to get much rolling done. We're only going to get sort of half hour, 40 minutes of rolling done, so it will be a time-lapse video, and hopefully nice and relaxing, but pre-warn anyone that isn't really keen on rolling. That's what we're doing, and that will be all episode, because we've got quite a bit to do. We've got this field to do, and then we've got 3 fields on Richard's farm to do, and then I think we've got to go back to our farm and do a couple of fields on there. So as I say, that's something that we need to get them done, because the day, as you can tell from the sky, is beginning to come to an end, and this is the last day of the month, so we only have now the remainder of today to roll these fields and to get them prepared, ready for when they come through, which will be May. So and as I say, once that happens, we need to then get on with our spraying regime and start getting these fields fertilised and sprayed for weeds and whatever else. So I got to admit, today I've been so in the evenings when my little boy goes to bed, obviously it gives me a chance to catch up on any messages that I may have received or anything like that, and also as well to sort of watch any videos about 2025, and that's what I've been doing today. Been sort of catching up on those that I've missed over the last sort of week and a bit. So I've been watching quite a lot of Mr. CDP's videos that he's put out, and 1 or 2 others, and yeah, I have to admit I'm very much looking forward to 2025. The game looks incredible. It's the tornado thing, I think it's a wonderful thing to add in. I think that it's a novelty thing. I think that after maybe a few weeks of playing with the tornado, people will want to probably turn it off. Whilst I understand that the tornado is not going to devastate buildings and neighbourhoods and areas that are built up, I get that, because the game, for the same reason that it doesn't depict the animals being slaughtered, it doesn't want to be kind of associated with death, destruction, and all of that sort of thing. So I get that. However, I think that the tornado could have damaged farm buildings. I think lean-tos and things like that, if they're made of wood, could have been damaged. So it forces you to, Giants seem to be quite massive on productions since 2022, well, why not get, some cement and concrete and metal work productions going, so that you start off with wooden sheds as when you're a new farmer, and if you don't get them replaced, you've always run the risk of, and not necessarily the tornado damaging it, the first time it passes them, but maybe, because in the beginning you wouldn't have the money, so maybe each time a tornado does go boot, it causes more and more damage, and you can either keep repairing the little bits of damage, and then eventually as the shed ages, and because it's made of wood, it rots, then sort of falls to the ground, that you're sort of forced to either buy metal sheds, or steel sheds, or whatever, concrete sheds, to kind of, if you like, guard against the tornado. And so therefore that shed, because of what it's made of, has a much longer, much larger sort of lifespan, if you like, and so won't be sort of damaged by the tornado for maybe sort of 2, 3, 4 game years. For someone like me, that would and other content creators, that would make quite a bit of immersion and realism, without making it the devastation and the death and the destruction that I can see why they would want to steer clear of that. Because there are many, probably many, I don't know, and I'm showing a little bit of ignorance here, but I'm sure there are many millions of people in the United States that have been absolutely devastated by tornadoes, whether it be through loss of property, vehicles, life, and sort of all of that stuff. So yeah, I can see why giants would want to stay away from that, but I do think that you can sort of they move bales and destroy bales and they destroy trees. I think you can add gameplay elements, that does involve buildings, where domestic houses and sort of devastation is not a part of. It's just your buildings, so that's just my thoughts. So I think it's a great thing. I think, yes, obviously in the beginning, I'll be doing videos on probably the Asian map and probably the American map and what have you. If there is a European map or a British map, or I've heard it rumoured, I've not actually seen nothing official yet. But if anyone knows any different, then by all means let me know, because I could get very excited towards a British map. But yeah, so I'll be sort of doing all that, and getting the game off, and for a while we'll have it on. But obviously the vast majority of the saves and careers that I do for YouTube are British based, because obviously that's where I'm from. Obviously the 1950s farm, I do that from the United States, from the Midwest, because it was a story that I stumbled across on the internet. I'm quite into my history. I was actually looking up something else to do with the Second World War, and as I say, happened to sort of stumble across a few headlines about the American government saying that America needed to be the feeders of the world, or of the free world, as they always put it, or as they put it. And so I kind of sort of thought, oh, hang on a minute, there's maybe a series in that. And when I started to really research it, that's when I came across, sort of the information that I did eventually come across. So, that's really good. And so far that series for me has been very much a success, and I've, enjoyed doing it. So, but yeah, so I've been catching up. I cannot tell you how. I mean, I'll tell you how pleased I was. I was almost emotional. Jesus, I can't talk today. I was almost emotional that peas are going to be in the game. Pea viners, and something that from an area where I live in Lincolnshire. Pea viners are a huge part of Lincolnshire life. My my first experience of pea viners is, living in the house that we grew up in, and the pea viners coming into the field, and obviously harvesting the peas, and then they would come sometimes overnight, and they would do it through the night. I can remember having the back bedroom as a little boy, and being woken up by this, sort of almighty roar, and looking out of the bedroom window and seeing, sort of 6 pea viners come in towards the house. It was fantastic, and a big delight sort of thing, and very exciting, and I mean, by that stage I already had my sort of passion and my want to be working on a farm when I was older. Sorry, I'm just trying to straighten this off if you're wondering why I'm doing it again. I'm just trying to straighten it off so that we can go up and down in relatively straight lines. And then many years later, when I worked on the second farm, so the first farm that I worked on, they had the pea viners come in, and the pea viners obviously did, the job of harvesting the peas and what have you. But I never got anywhere near them. They were, farms that, or it was a co-op. So the farm that I worked on paid into the co-op for the viners, for the peas, for the selling of the crop and everything, and you basically paid in each year, and then that co-op consortium would sort it all out for you. All you had to do was get the land prepared and drilled on the dates they told you, not a day earlier, not a day later. You had to do it on the days that they told you to drill the fields. And then when I worked on the second farm, that farm was one of the I don't quite know what the right word to use is, but say one of the owners of the consortium. So they were so there was like 4 main farms, and those 4 farms organised it for all of the farms in Lincolnshire, and the sort of first half of Norfolk. That got the land all sort of set aside, if you like, for peas, and they would pay the farmers X amount for the amount of land they needed off them, if the farms agreed. I mean, some farms didn't agree, but most of them did, because peas are a good nitrogen source crop, and a very good break crop to have. And if you've got things like foot and mouth in your soil, stuff like that, peas can't be grown in fields that already have foot and mouth. However, if the field develops it during the crop, it does have some properties that are able to minimise the spread in your field. So so it's a very, an all-round very good crop. But the second farm that I worked on, I was, as I say, very lucky, because I think two seasons, maybe 3 seasons, I got asked if I would like to go on the P team, and I, because duly jumped at the chance to go on the pea vining team, thinking I was going to get to drive a pea viner. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So some days I would drive the carts. They were scissor carts, and basically you would drive along, you would fill them up. They were, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty certain it was a 16-ton Bailey scissor cart, and you obviously would fill the trailer full of peas, and then you would drive to the end of the fields. There would be lorries that would sit across the entrance to the field, and then you would then tip in, and as you were tipping in, there'd be another lorry driver watching the load go in. The lorry that you were filling, its driver would be in the cab, and it would gradually just keep moving forward to fill the lorry trailer, and then obviously that they would then go when they were full. It was roughly 2 loads of my trailer to a lorry trailer, roughly, not quite, but it was pretty much 2 loads, I think. So but yeah, I loved it. and then then some other days I would maybe be road sweeping if it was wet, and making sure the road stayed clean and tidy, and there was no mud or slush or muck or anything on the roads. Another day might be pulling the porter cabins or porter cabin around, or the portaloos or whatever, the jet washers, the air blowers, it could be anything like that. It was a really good time. I did what you would do is you would do they were 6-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts. So you'd either do 6 till 6 in the day or 6 till 6 overnight. They were the two shifts, and you did sort of whatever, and it was fantastic, and it really enjoyable, exhausting, very exhausting, because they were long days, and there was a lot of travelling involved from farms to farms. But because I was with intelligent, clever people, I never got lost. I just used to follow everybody else. Why not? I had human sat-navs, and I was delighted. But it was really good. Anyway, I've waffled on there a little bit too long, probably for some people's liking. So, as I say, if you are still at the end of the video when I get there, after a nice relaxing time lapse, then obviously I'll do the the closing of the video and a little bit more chatting, and I'll see you then. But otherwise, if not, and you've decided that a video of rolling is probably not for you, thanks for watching so far. If you haven't done already, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help. I'll see you on the next video. But for everyone else, time lapse. And I'm back. So that's got quite a bit of the land that we needed to rolled, which is good, obviously. And then we'll get that done, and then we'll move on to the next day, and we will then be able to. The crops will be through, and we'll be able to get on then with our spraying and fertilising, which is obviously going to help yields and bring money in. So as I say, it's been a good episode. We've got plenty done. We've got the sort of two really biggest fields. This is quite a big field as well. And then the last one to do is the one over the road, but I'll do that off camera, just because it's essentially another field of rolling. And I made a nice mess of that one, didn't I? Yeah, we'll, as I say, I'll do that off camera, and then that way you're sort of not going to miss nothing. And then, as I say, we'll be into I can't see anything with the shadow of these trees. I think I'm overlapping by quite a way, but I don't mind that because I'd rather overlap than miss. Yeah, so as I say, we'll then get on with cultivating. We'll get on with spraying and fertilising, and then we'll be getting close to harvest. And then once we get harvest and baled, then I can get on with some cultivating, because apparently I'm quite desperate to. As I say, hopefully everyone's enjoyed the episode. I know it's a bit kind of all over the place at the moment, but slowly but surely I am sort of trying to get there. There's still lots of meetings and things that I have to attend, and and things with school and other people. It just seems I went from kind of sort of not seeing anyone or speaking to anyone ever, as each year passed, and the last few weeks have just been endless meetings and everything. And but the one thing I am very pleased with the meetings that I've had with school and things is that Thomas is settled, and his behaviour at school has gone from being a little bit of a problem child to being to being much better. Apparently now he's very polite. He's helping, which wasn't the case before, and he's being nice to the children. So yeah, thankfully, so far so good. But as I say, as the weeks and the months pass, that will, I'm assuming and guessing that will all slow down and become less. And as I say, sort of, we'll be getting videos back regular, because as I said before, I don't want to give it up. I've come too far. I really enjoy doing it. It gives me something to do. It gives me something to focus on. Yes, I've got other things now to focus on, but at the same time, I think as well, what I've found in the last sort of few days or weeks or whatever, well, few days, actually having YouTube to still do is quite a nice distraction away from everything else that I've got to try and remember and what have you. I mean, I have just copious lists all over my desk and appointments and times, and I'm looking at it thinking, what on earth has happened? But anyway, as I say, it's working out. It appears to be working out, so that's good, and long may that continue, because as I say, I've got a happy little boy again, and that's all I want. I want a happy, healthy little boy. I don't want him to have the struggles of the past. So that's good. Anyway, I'm going on about rubbish, and I kind of feel like I'm in an AA meeting where I just need to spill all this rubbish and get it out of me and sort of kind of, and this is sort of kind of like in the past when I've said, I don't really have sort of a friend that I can sort of, ring or call or whatever, that I can just kind of, get this out to. It sometimes it would be, really helpful, but never mind, we're getting there. But yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you haven't done already, please don't forget to hit the like, comment and subscribe. Share the videos wherever you want to share them or wherever you normally share them. It all helps. It's a massive help. Massive thank you again to all of the say that in English. A massive thank you again to all of the people that have messaged nice comments and stuff like that, not only on my posts but that continue to message on my videos. Trust me, I really, really do at the moment appreciate it. I always do appreciate it, but at the moment in time, honestly, it's I don't quite have the words, or I can't think of the right words to say, but at this moment in time, it's a real help, and as I say, that it's doing a lot for me, which is good. So yeah, all that's left for me to say is thanks ever so much for joining me on this episode. I've really enjoyed having your company, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.